Did you know that some commercial baby foods contain concerning levels of heavy metals like arsenic, lead, cadmium, and mercury? It's like a heavy metal concert in those tiny jars, but without the fun.
What's wrong without you?
Today, we're taking a deep dive into the world of baby food. We'll explore the safety concerns surrounding store-bought baby food and compare it to the homemade alternative. We'll ask the big questions: is baby food safe? Is making your own baby food better than buying it in jars?
So, who liked Gerber's sweet potatoes and corn? Show of hands.
Stay with us until the end because we'll be sharing practical tips on how to handle this challenging situation. Whether you're a new parent expecting a baby or just curious, this is a conversation you won't want to miss.
Well, you won't want to miss.
So with all this talk about sneaky stuff in baby food, let's crack open those grocery store jars and see what's really going on. Store-bought baby food. It's handy, right? No germs thanks to pasteurization, and it lasts ages compared to homemade stuff. Plus, those neat stages tell you exactly when your mini munchkins are ready for chunkier bits. But the big but. Some foods have preservatives for extra shelf life, and unwanted substances can find their way into store-bought baby foods. But hey, lots of jarred options are made with natural organic stuff and can only have a few ingredients, like banana and blueberry puree, probably just bananas, blueberries, and maybe a squeeze of lemon for taste. Yum! Now, about those rules and safety checks. Things are getting better, and most big brands have a good track record. But even then, it's good for parents to know about the possible risks and choose wisely. The FDA is working on improving monitoring and regulation of heavy metals in commercial baby food. But for now, it's tough to know which ones are entirely safe and which ones aren't. Remember, babies don't really need anything but breast milk or formula until they're 6 months old. Until they hit that milestone, you can ditch the purees and let them try soft, mashy table foods instead. Or whip up your own baby food using steamed or naturally soft stuff and a blender.
Easy peasy.
Now that we've looked into jarred baby food, let's explore the world of making baby food at home. When it comes to feeding your baby, making baby food at home can feel like a fun cooking adventure. You get to choose the freshest organic produce like carrots and bananas, and you know exactly what's going into that puree because you're the one making it. Picking and preparing ingredients is like going on a treasure hunt for the best produce. You can choose organic ingredients from safe, familiar sources, ensuring freshness and avoiding any sneaky additives found in some store-bought baby foods. The cooking and processing part is where the magic happens. You steam those veggies until they're just right. Then mash or puree them into a smooth, baby-friendly texture. And when your little one is ready for meats, you can introduce them knowing they've been prepared perfectly. Storage is important. You need to keep that homemade goodness fresh. You can store your baby food in the fridge for a few days or freeze it for later, making sure you always have a meal on hand for your hungry little one. But the question remains, is it all safe?
Is it safe?
When it comes to the safety of baby food, the debate often revolves around jarred versus homemade. However, safety concerns are widespread. For instance, a recent health advisory from the CDC highlighted elevated lead levels in children who consumed specific cinnamon-containing applesauce products. With 22 reported cases, it's a stark reminder that vigilance is crucial, regardless of the food source. And it's not just one-off cases. Turns out even popular brands harbor sneaky heavy metals like lead, cadmium, and mercury. These aren't minor glitches. They can mess with brain development, raise cancer risks, and spark learning and behavioral problems. Enough to make any parent pause before grabbing that spoon. Sure, the FDA sets limits like the 100 parts per billion cap on arsenic in rice cereal. But even these get questioned for not doing enough to shield our little ones' brains. And while the FDA works on tighter regulations, navigating which products are truly safe feels like playing whack-a-mole. In a situation like this, people tend to think homemade foods are safe for the little ones. Here's a plot twist. Making your own baby food with store-bought produce doesn't guarantee a heavy metal-free escape. A study found 94% of all kinds of baby food, manufactured, family foods, even homemade purees, had detectable amounts of heavy metals. Yep, lead showed up in 90% of store-bought stuff and even snuck into homemade batches. So what can parents do?
What do I do? What do I do? What do I do?
The report suggests diversifying a baby's diet with low-metal foods like fresh bananas, grits, and butternut squash, and avoiding rice-based snacks that tend to absorb inorganic arsenic. It's about making informed choices and minimizing risks where possible. Now you might be thinking, which one is better, right?
Which is better?
When it comes to feeding your baby, choosing between homemade and jarred baby food can be complicated. Each option has its own advantages and disadvantages, and the best choice often depends on individual circumstances. Homemade baby food, when prepared properly, can offer several benefits. It allows parents to have complete control over the ingredients, ensuring freshness and avoiding additives present in store-bought baby food. This control can lead to a higher nutritional value as homemade baby food is prepared fresh and can retain more nutrients. Additionally, making baby food at home can be more cost-effective, especially when using organic ingredients and preparing in larger quantities. On the other hand, jarred baby food offers convenience and a longer shelf life, making it a practical option for on-the-go feeding and travel. It is pasteurized, killing off any bacteria that might appear in the finished product, and comes in pre-made stages, making it easier to determine when to offer thicker textures to the baby. However, it may contain a variety of listed or unlisted preservatives to make the food shelf-stable. On the health side, commercial baby foods tend to have more sugar, more sodium, and less fiber compared to equal amounts of home-prepared fruits and vegetables. This difference in nutritional content is another factor to consider when choosing between homemade and jarred baby food. Besides, there are also conflicts regarding this. Reputable organizations have conflicting opinions about the safety and benefits of commercial and homemade baby foods. While most well-known brands have good safety records, some organizations warn about the quality of ingredients in commercial baby food. On the contrary, the American Academy of Pediatrics, for example, states that commercially prepared vegetables are safer than home-cooked ones because they aren't as exposed to contaminants.
I am confused.
It seems like we're facing a bit of a puzzle here, but don't worry, we've got some practical tips for you. Some experts suggest a mix of homemade and store-bought baby food. Making your own food at home when you have time and buying store-bought options for convenience can be a balanced approach. Pediatric dietitian Diana Schnee, MSRD CSP-LD, says, both types of food have had their good and bad points. The quality of processed baby food is no longer a concern. There are high-quality natural baby foods on store shelves now, and most well-known brands have good safety records. But if parents want to make homemade food, it's fine as long as they do it safely. The American Academy of Pediatrics has tips for families to reduce their children's exposure to heavy metals in their food and drink. Offer your child a wide variety of different foods. The more natural colors, the better. Use a variety of grains. It's best to limit rice and rice products. Check labels. Rice is in many foods marketed for babies like puffs. Try barley, oats, and other grains. When cooking rice, it's best to cook it in extra water and drain that water off, and to use white basmati and sushi rice, which have less arsenic. Check your water. Old pipes can contain lead, which can get into drinking water. Avoid fruit juices. Not only can they increase the risk of cavities and obesity, but many commercial juices also contain heavy metals. Making healthy fish choices. Fish contain nutrients that are very healthy for the developing brain, but some fish can contain unhealthy amounts of mercury. Avoid big, predatory, long-living fish like swordfish, shark, or albacore tuna. It's better to choose fish like cod, light tuna, salmon, or pollock. Choosing between homemade and jarred baby food can feel like solving a Rubik's Cube, but there's no one-size-fits-all answer.
One size fits all. Who are they kidding?
The best choice depends on your family's rhythm, your grocery budget, and even how much time you have in the kitchen. Making baby food at home gives you complete control over the ingredients, potentially higher nutritional value, and can be cost-effective. However, it takes time and proper storage to keep it fresh and nutritious. On the other hand, store-bought baby food is convenient, easy to take with you, and lasts a long time, making it a practical choice for busy families and travel. However, it may contain preservatives and, in the long run, can be more expensive than making it at home.
Very expensive.
Both homemade and store-bought options can have traces of those not-so-friendly heavy metals. To keep your little one safe, mix things up with different foods, stay away from rice-heavy snacks, and choose healthy fish like cod or salmon. So, who wins the crown? Ultimately, the decision between homemade and store-bought baby food should be based on what works best for you and your baby. Some families may find that a mix of both options works best for them. Remember, the goal is to give your baby a balanced, nutritious diet that supports their growth and development. Always talk to a pediatrician or a registered dietitian if you have any concerns or questions about your baby's diet. Now, if you found this information helpful, please consider liking the video, subscribing to our channel for more valuable content, and sharing your thoughts in the comments below. Stay informed, stay watchful, and always put your child's health and well-being first.